How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new disc from Pie Pan Discs, and that's the Hype. The Hype is a 10-speed distance driver. It features a very slight dome, and it has a smaller rim considering it's a distance driver. It comes in the Baker's Blend plastic, which is a nice medium flex plastic, so it feels good whether it's hot or cold outside. It doesn't get too gummy or too stiff. I'm excited to take this thing out in the field and kind of see what it can do, and also out on the course to see maybe where I would throw this disc and how it would fit in my bag. Let's check it out. So starting out, I'm throwing this disc nice and soft. You can see just a nice flat release, and about halfway through the flight, it dumps out to the left around 300 feet. Here I'm throwing the disc a little harder on the hyzer with a lot of spin. Nice for that long sweeping hyzer that slowly flips up. Here I'm throwing the disc flat with a little bit of ante. You can see nice straight for the first fourth of the flight, then it starts turning and it finishes at the end. Here's another anhyzer release, but up in the air a little higher. You can see I'm getting a good amount of turn for about 60-70% of the flight before finishing. And here is even a little harder. You can kind of see the full flight of the disc at about 430 feet. Some spots where I would use this disc on the course, maybe a tight fairway like this where I know I can throw it flat on that slight anhyzer release. Here you can see I put a lot more anhyzer on it because I have some room to the right to work with, and I can trust that the disc is going to come back at the end. I really enjoy this disc for these kind of hyzer releases, and it just slowly pops up to flat for most of the flight, and it glides way down the fairway. Here's another example of that little hyzer release, and you can just see the disc kind of continue to push forward and travel. And I was really surprised on the forehand with a little hyzer release to flat. You can see how well the disc kind of holds that line, and really up to about 350 feet. Here I'm throwing the disc pretty hard, flat to a little bit of anhyzer, and you can see the full flight. It continues to move. That's around like 400 and 430 feet. And then here I put the disc on a good amount of anhyzer, and you can just see it pan the entire way and land flat. So what do you guys think? I'm pleasantly surprised at how well the Hype flies both on the backhand and the forehand, just getting effortless distance out of it. For the beginner player, intermediate player who doesn't have a lot of arm speed, isn't putting a lot of spin on the disc, they might not see as much utilization out of this disc, but it might be very comfortable in the hand because it has the smaller rim as opposed to using a high-speed driver that typically has a really big rim. For the intermediate and up player who is putting a good amount of spin on the disc, faster arm speed, it's an excellent driver, and it really holds up to any kind of shot shape that you put it on. I was putting a lot of torque on the disc, and I was able to get some nice straight tight lines, just maybe some nice hyzers or some turnovers that just held entirely down the fairway. Make sure that you stop by Hazy Shade today and check out what all the Hype is about.